So, do you guys think Nadia Solomon is a crazy bitch? I mean, okay, there's probably better ways of putting it, but past week I've been calling her a crazy bitch just because, I don't know, it just pops in my head every time I see her. She seems kind of crazy to me. But I mean, to me, she is not the only crazy person involved in this whole situation. But I guess it would depend on, you know, your view of insanity. Do you guys think she's crazy for having 8 more kids after having the original 6? And for, you know, having them all implanted and going through this whole process? I mean, the whole process is kind of strange. Has anybody asked her if she could actually, like, naturally conceive children? Because I think that's a good question. I want to know if she can have kids on her own. And if so, why didn't she do so? And if she has a good reason, I want to know what's this donor guy that she says she used for all 14 of her kids. What's he feel about this whole thing? Because if I was him, I would be running for the hills right now. And she used the same clinic for all 14 kids. Which makes me think, what's the deal with the doctor for going along with it? Because I'm pretty sure if it's like some plastic surgeon giving some woman like triple F boobs, he would be getting persecuted and people would be after him saying that he's just, you know, going along with some crazy woman's idea of whatever's gonna make him, you know, make her happy. So I'm thinking that's along the same lines, because if I was the doctor and the woman came at me and was like, you know, I want to do this, and I would think it was a little bit much, and I would probably say no. So the clinic went along with it, and, you know, her family went along with it, and she went along with it, and now we're all sitting here like, okay, is she nuts? Is she not nuts? And then they go through this whole thing where she kind of looks like Angelina Jolie, maybe, maybe not. And I'm like, Some people are like, Angelina could go ahead and have a bunch of kids, but she has money for it. And I'm like, that's really not the case. I think it's the attention. You can have a bunch of money and maintain your kids, that's fine, but I mean, what are they going to do? What are you going to do with them? Are you like put them all in a room and say hi at one time? It's like, how do you maintain your relationship with your children? That seems crazy too. But I mean, back in the day, people used to have a bunch of kids. You know, people would have large families. But I mean, it was like there was spaces in between. There weren't just like a bunch of babies, were there? Like, there was just a bunch of babies running around? No. So, to me, this is not the same thing as even having a large family. So, yeah, I think she's crazy. But I want to know, what do you guys think? You guys think she's crazy? The Super Bowl was last week. The Steelers won. Holmes did this tippy toe thing when he grabbed the ball because, you know, he needed to make up for that first ball that he missed. It fell on his head. That was terrible. It went right through his hands, in case you haven't seen it. There was a bunch of freakouts this week, supposedly. Christian Bale freaked out on the cameraman. That was the best to me. He apologized, but I don't really think he needs to apologize. I mean, if somebody's fucking up your job, you have the right to yell at them and berate them however you choose, right? Etta James supposedly freaked out on Beyonce. She says it's a joke now. If it was a joke, it was funny. And if it wasn't true, if it wasn't a joke, it was even funnier. Because, I mean, if I was Etta James, I would feel kind of funny that some woman was, I mean, you know, okay, technically it isn't her song, but you gotta admit, that's the song that she's known for. I mean, if Frank Sinatra came out the grave and was like, oh, some nigga singing Mac the Knife, and freak out on it, you know, or and freaked out about it, even if he wasn't the first person to sing it, I mean, it was like made popular by him. So, I mean, yeah, Etta James should have sang the song at the inauguration. Or it should have at least been made into a duet. There should have been something going on there because, I mean, she's an old black lady. Sorta. And this was the first inauguration of a black president, quote unquote. So, I mean, there should have been as many old black people there as possible. Yeah, that would have made sense. They should have just got as many old black people they could and just put them all in there. It would have been like, okay, I know it was supposed to appeal to like the young kids, but I'm like, technically, Hell, if you were a young kid, you weren't even supposed to be awake watching Beyonce sing that shit by the time they got to that dance. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm pretty sure I would have been dead ass and out if I was like 5, 10, or whatever age Beyonce appeals to. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have no idea what the young people do. Yeah, I sound old as hell right now.